man, Pop's tripping. He wants me to ask for my brisket back. You know I wouldn't trip.
What brisket?
You know, the brisket I left at your house, man.
That's my brisket, punk! When you get animated, you get louder.
Well, also, I did episode 3 pretty smashed, let's be honest. Yeah. So, that always has something to do with it.
I still need to buy one of those things. How's my level right here? How about right here?
You sound the same.
Same?
The thing?
How about right here?
Try it across the street.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Grabbing the Brisket Podcast. We have a nice one planned for you today. Today we welcome in Shawn Moore.
Shawn Moore, everybody.
Hey, what's up?
What's up,
guys?
What's going on, Shawnee?
Captain of Chasing More Smoke. Today we're going to talk about the history of Chasing More Smoke. We're going to talk about some new rule changes with the IBCA, and that is the International Barbecue Cookers Association. Our barbecue wins, our barbecue fails, whatever stories pop up. Let's take care of a little business first before we get into this a little bit further.
Guys, if you want to follow us, man, we're on Twitter at Grab the Brisket. We're on Facebook at Grab 'em in the Brisket. You know, Instagram, same thing as Facebook at Grab 'em in the Brisket. We also have our Gmail, which is grabeminthabrisket@gmail.com.
Awesome. I don't think we've mentioned this before, and I know somebody mentioned something on Twitter about our name, like where did we come up with it, and I think it was a little misunderstood, and they're like, grab them in the brisket or grab them in the biscuit. Like, we're not trying to be, Donald Trump over here or anything like that, but hey, we're a huge fan of the 90s hip-hop, and one of them in particular was Digital Underground, and the song that we kind of parodied our name off of was Humpty Dance, and in the song, grab them in the biscuit. I mean, I do that horrible, but our buddy, our captain over here, Shawn Moore, he is notoriously famous for busting us out at parties, cook-offs, karaoke events.
That's my go-to song.
That is the go-to. I mean, you know every word by heart.
Oh, yeah.
Give him one.
Yeah, it's the only song I sound like the guy.
Give him one.
Just grab them in the briskets.
Nice. And we might just steal that and just make it as our intro to this thing.
Right? That's fantastic.
John, how's your week been?
Last weekend we were in Reno Car Show. That was fantastic. It was super fun.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, let's talk about my weekend. So I was here by myself. Everybody decided that they're going to hop on a plane, just take off all across the country. Like Jan goes to Colorado Springs, or no, actually Jan was in Galveston, spending time with his family. Alden jumps on a plane, goes to Vegas. John's over here running to Reno, looking at cars, and here I am just stuck on the street doing things by myself. And I mean, quite frankly, it was relaxing. It was nice, guys. Thank you.
Nobody knocking at your door like, hey, man, open your garage. I'm ready to hang out.
Yeah. No,
that's usually how it is, if you think about it.
Garage door automatically just coming up. Hey, I'm in your garage.
We just let ourselves in. It's the best. It is.
Shawn Moore.
Oh, my week started off pretty good, and then broke my ankle and was at work in a house fire. Going up, check for fire extension in the attic.
So let's go ahead and just preface it. Shawn, you're a Houston fire.
That is correct. Yes.
So house fire, like nobody knows what you do. And hey, you're on a house fire. Like, oh my God.
Hey, I'm a Houston firefighter.
Yeah.
We got sent to a fire in Clear Lake. We got tasked to go up into the attic and check for fire extension. Captain went up the ladder. The rookie went up the ladder. I followed him up the ladder into the attic. Attic ladder broke. Landed on my ankle funny. Didn't feel very good.
So how many people were you carrying on your shoulders
It
at
was
this point?
12 babies.
12 babies.
Yes.
Wow, that is you're
awesome.
a hero, sir.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah,
we
well,
thank
that's
you.
what do.
let's give you a round of applause.
Salute you for your service, for sure. I honestly, when you're telling me that story, I get like the picture of Backdraft. You've seen the movie Backdraft, where it's just like Kurt Russell and all these guys. I mean, that's what I imagine you do at work all day.
Oh, yeah. It felt like it on my way down until I hit the ground and quickly realized it's not a movie and this hurts.
But Shawn also is the cook out at the fire station. Is that correct?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Get all my practice in at the fire station.
I can't imagine. I mean, they just probably love it when you're on duty. They're like, oh, yeah, we about to get fed. We're about to go save some people, get fed.
They never let you know that.
No?
No, they don't let you know that at all.
Yeah.
It's more of make fun of everything you cook and It tastes bad, even though you know it doesn't.
Yeah, this is horrible. I wouldn't even eat this, but I'm so hungry. I'm just going to eat it all in a second.
They give it to you good.
I'm having these 7 ribs, but not one more.
Right, yes.
Nice.
That's awesome. Hey,
Well, let me tell you. Hold on. Let me tell you about my week, right? And I don't want to jump in here too early, but I had one of the most disturbing things happen to me. Really, being a parent. So I don't have insomnia or anything like that, but I do wake up kind of frequently, a few nights a week, and usually I want to check the doors to make sure they're locked. And I see something funny. I've got some older kids. My son's 22, my daughter's 18. She's going off to college here in a few days. And then I've got a little one. She's 12. So yeah, for me, I wake up and this is my Thursday or Wednesday night. So I wake up, I see the lights are on, like under the door, right? So that means somebody's in the kitchen, living room, lights are on. I'm like, man, these kids, man, they just no respect, right? It's 3 o'clock in the morning. So I get up, go in, and I'm like turning lights off. I'm just aggravated, pissed off. And I always go check the doors, make sure they're locked, right? I look outside, make sure all the cars are home. They're supposed to be home. Then last thing I do is I go up and check the thermostat. I don't know why. That's what I do, right?
That's a dad thing. So
I check the thermostat. As I come down, I'm like, I really got to stop off outside of our living room area. We've got a little half bath there. So, I'm going to just go ahead and just go to the restroom now. No big deal. Knock this out real quick. Go back to bed. No, that's not what happens. So as I walk into this little half bath, I'm really focused on just going to the restroom really quick, getting out, going to bed. And I noticed something in my like peripheral vision, right? It's a 12-year-old kid that turns around and goes, boo. I scared the crap out of me. I thought it was an intruder.
You scared the crap out of you?
I ended up grabbing her, and I'm shaking her like, why the F would you do this, right? She's trying not, I thought she was crying. No, she's crying laughing. She's trying to hold it down, telling me to be quiet, because I am yelling at this point.
She's my favorite.
Yeah, 3 o'clock in the morning, somebody behind you is sitting in a corner of a restroom and says, boo.
She was in the restroom?
I walked in, I was just fixing to go to the restroom, and then I saw her when she grabbed me. I jumped.
Why was she in the restroom?
She was hiding from me. She was hiding to scare me.
Wow.
Didn't know that I was going to walk in there. She's against the wall, so I don't see her. And I just literally walked straight, like I'm fixing to pee, and all of a sudden, I just happen to see something, right? Hear something. I go to turn, and she's there. Like, dude, that's what a creepy kid does.
Yeah,
right? That's horrible.
That's when somebody should be catching some hands. That's when somebody gets punched in the face, right? And then they don't do it anymore.
They don't do it anymore. Maybe so. Let me tell you, I didn't go to back to bed. I was up till about 5:30 that morning, laying there, like thinking, like, why do I have such a creepy kid?
Checking under the covers, checking under the bed.
Is she going to scare me?
Moving
What's that noise?
Curtains around.
So yeah, that was my Wednesday or Thursday. So
I had something similar to that a few years back when I had my cat, and I had this crazy jacked up cat named Miller. And every time I would get up in the middle of the night to go use the restroom or just go into a room that's dark, this cat would just come out of nowhere and just attack me for no reason. It got to the point where I was scared. I mean, I would go to the bathroom, and going to the bathroom is no big deal. He lets you go to the bathroom. Like, it's a trap. He sets a trap. And then when you're getting back in bed, he's waiting for you to pull that last leg up and stick it underneath the covers. And before you can get it, boom, he's on you. And next thing you know, he's just going to town on your leg, just tearing it up. I'm like, stupid cat, get out of here.
Giving you anxiety.
Yeah. I'm still shell-shocked. And I don't even have that cat anymore, and I'm still looking around for him.
In the middle of the night, I'm just going to hold it.
I'm going to hold it.
Stupid cats.
Yeah.
That's what you get for having a cat.
Nobody like no cats.
Hey, I like the cat. I mean, the cat was awesome. He attacked me all the time. So.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a great cat.
It was a love-hate relationship.
It's a great cat to have.
He attacked me, and then I just allowed him to live in my house. Yeah, and I fed him. Yeah. So
love-hate relationship.
Fantastic deal.
So asshole cat would at least clean its own litter box.
Yeah. Let's go into icebreaker questions. Like when we have guests on, throw out a couple of questions because we like to get an idea of who all is here and what they do, what they like. And it's just nice to get to know everybody.
Well, that sounds fun. Let's do that.
Let's do that. So I got a couple of questions for you, Shawn. You can answer all three. You can just pick one. I mean, or somebody else can pick another. I mean, it doesn't matter. Okay, so we got first. memorable time getting drunk. Or we got first car. I'll have to preface this because I stole this from my buddy at work, Carlos.
Can both those go together, maybe?
It possibly could. Yeah, our buddy Carlos at Tri-City Smokers, we've competed against him a couple times at Kids Unlimited, so shout out to him. And the other one is first grill.
Wow, first car, 91 Chevy Stepside. It had the custom paint job, had the bed cover, custom leather seats, a little custom pinstripe down the side, running boards. It was awesome.
Ooh, was it a single cab or was it
Single cab? Oh, yeah.
single cab?
Yeah.
Nice, with the running boards?
Yeah, and it had the 350 engine, so it was fast.
Ooh,
Sexy.
Mine was all Catalina blue,
Catalina Blue. Ooh, that's nice.
50 series tires,
Really the best
centerline
of all
rims.
blues.
Yeah.
Besides Cowboy Blue. Niners just beat the Cowboys in the preseason game. Y'all won the Super Bowl, buddy.
Yep, didn't matter after that. I don't have to watch another game.
Well, yeah. I mean, well, first the Cowboys have to sign their running back, and they're now the quarterback's like expecting $40 million or not expecting $40 million or whatever it is. I'm like, whatever.
It's neither here nor there.
Yeah. Tune into our other podcast where we talk sports. I'm just kidding. We don't have one, but
All Dallas sport.
anybody else want to chime in on the first? Any memorable story or
Well,
first?
I can give you a
Let's see-
good story of
what's
my
your-
first truck.
Okay, first
It
truck.
was a 93 Zuzu pickup, which was, it was pretty solid. It had a nice little sound system in there, and I'll never forget it because my junior year, I went to Walmart and bought a set of speakers. They were called Rogue Ears. I didn't have an amplifier or anything. I just had the speakers back there, like in a paper box. Well, I got made fun of or whatever. And so that Christmas, my parents bought me an actual amplifier and speakers and all that kind of stuff. So I was booming, whatever. It was my junior year, and I actually ran over a kid. He was on his bicycle, traveling across the street. I was going this way. He was trying to go that way. Rolled him up, and it was kind of like the movie. So he hit my fucking hood, right? And just rolled up on the windshield. When I pushed the brakes, he just rolled off. So this kid, he gets up.
This is first car or first homicide?
Right.
That's what I thought you were fixing. I was like, holy crap. You just committed a
So check
murder.
this out. So
We gotta
this
lock
was
your
the
ass
second
up.
time this kid been hit, apparently. So anyway, Sean Fulcher was this kid's name. He gets up, and I had a buddy of mine in my truck at the time, and 93 Zuzu is a tiny truck. And this dude's bike tire just goes way over here. He picks up his whole frame of his bike, goes over there, walks over. He got up off the ground, picked that tire up, put it all in the back of my truck. Was getting into my truck, and my buddy told him, "Don't bleed in this truck." I'll never forget it because he was bleeding a little bit, you know what I mean? But where I lived at, Denver City was such a small town. There was some cops there that just saw it happen, so they pulled me over before I even got to the hospital. So, yeah, that was the one of the most memorable moments of my first truck. So he survived.
That's fantastic and scary at the same time.
Yeah,
All right. Well,
that's my story.
I'll tell you our first vehicle, and we kind of alluded to it 2 episodes ago, was a 1978 Ford F-150. And that thing was a beast. I mean, it was a tan in color or white.
Chalk white.
Chalk white.
I think it maybe used to be a different color, right? But it wouldn't rub off on you or anything like that. So it
Primer
wasn't
white.
chalk, but it was a white truck.
Yeah, no, I think you can probably rub your finger across it and you get like a little white
Maybe certain
residue.
spots.
Yeah.
Maybe certain spots.
That's how you know it's good paint.
Exactly.
They call that cocaine, sir. I don't know. But
On the side of this Ford, apparently my granddad bought it from a dealership that was a Moore dealership. So on the side of it, it had this badge insignia that said "One More Ford." And we thought that was just the baddest thing ever because it was "One More," Moore. So I was like, hell yeah. I'm sorry, Jan's making
Okay.
gestures over there.
All right, yeah. So
Yeah.
we may have had some. I may have taken a few dates out in this truck. It was nice. It's good.
Got in stuck in the mud a couple times.
Stuck in the mud. We also had a
Is that what
hole in the
y'all call it?
Is that a
floorboard.
euphemism?
Yeah, we also had a hole in the floorboard, passenger side floorboard, and yeah, I'm not condoning drinking and driving. I'm not condoning being underage drinking and driving. I'm just telling you, I was driving around with maybe a 6-pack or maybe a couple of 6-packs of alcohol, and then I got pulled over. We would just flip the what do you call it, the mat over, right?
mat on the
and we
passenger
dropped
side.
the beer down onto the floor or to the ground. Boom, that's it.
Because there was like a 2-foot circle diameter hole
Yeah.
on the bottom of this thing that
That's
was
a big
rusted
hole.
out. Yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
It's great. And then when you're like, oh, your light's out. Like, oh, okay, thanks, officer. We'll get that fixed. And then we'd go and we'd pull the mat back and we'd pick the beer up and then we would drive home. It was fantastic, and I love that truck. I still miss that truck.
It got me thinking, as you know, when we were telling the story about you driving on 610 and almost killing us, and then we started talking about, we having a discussion about the M&Ms and the Reese's Pieces and which one's better, and ET likes, ET doesn't, whatever.
No debate.
Yeah, and there was a funny story that came up when me and Jan were in this particular vehicle, and we were in high school, and I think the candy came up, and I could tell the story, but I'll let Jan tell the story because he does it a little bit more better justice than I do. But
yeah, I don't even know if I can do it justice. It's one of those times where you're making really just piss poor decisions. You know what I mean? So we basically leave the high school. We're seniors. I'm traveling a back county road, and I've got a buddy that's behind me, in his vehicle. And we pull up at this, basically it's like a crossing, railroad crossing. My buddy Corey gets out, jumps in the back of the truck. It's a really good idea for him to basically throw objects that's in the back of my truck at our buddy, right?
That's right behind us.
It's right behind us. I think he was in like a little Toyota Tacoma or a little Isuzu, Like you can never get that truck stuck or anything. So he's behind us, and a few cans got thrown, a little piece of wood, and I mean just anything we could find. And I reached over. We just left the gas station. I was like, man, I've got some Reese's Pieces or Reese's peanut butter cups. Is what I had. So I rolled the window down, and I'm hanging out the window, and Corey finally sees me, and he's all over it. He opens it up, and he starts balling these peanut butter cups up because he's about to really just toss it on the window of our buddy that's right behind us. As soon as he goes to really, because first of all, if you're traveling 60 miles an hour, right, down a old county road, you got a guy standing up in the back of your truck, right? It's not safe.
That's a recipe for a disaster.
Somebody's going to die
Definitely,
pretty soon,
yeah.
right?
Don't do that at home.
He's got it balled up, and he's just fixing to. I think he threw a beer can or a can, right? I'm going to say it's a beer can. He probably threw a can, and then he has this balled up. He's fixing to throw it, and right when he did, this car goes right around our buddy and right behind me. And I was thinking, like, that's a dick move. Like, we're going to throw shit on you now, right? That's all I could think about. I was like, ha. Like, obviously, we're not traveling fast enough for you.
New target.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't.
So Corey's laughing. I'm laughing. My hands are in the air, and I'm like, dude, throw some trash on him. Throw that Reese's peanut butter cup. Do whatever. So he throws the Reese's peanut butter cup, and then all of a sudden, Corey sits down in the bed, and you could see there's a different feel about what was happening.
Very like deflated look, just like
he's looking at me, and he's basically, I can see him through the rearview mirror. He's looking through the glass, and he's like, pull over now. And he's yelling it, but I'm traveling so fast. I'm in a 78 Ford, and hell, I can't hear that well because the windows are all the way down.
Yeah, you're like,
yeah, let's go faster. So I keep going. I'm not stopping. Like this car is obviously crazy. They want to get peanut butter on them, and we're going to give it to them. But the problem is Corey won't do anything. He's continuing to bang on the back window, and he's yelling, he's screaming, pull over, right? And then all of a sudden he goes, hey, that's a cop. And I was like, oh, shit. Oh, my God, right?
How do I explain this?
As I look in the side mirror, I can see the guy has a badge out the window. And he's holding it out the window so make sure he can see that I see that he's got a badge, We pull up, and I pull down this side street. I really didn't want to pull over to begin with, right? Because lights, I don't got to pull over, right? There's no horn. There's nothing. But what I didn't realize is he actually had a PA system, and he had horns, just no lights. I was like, dang, okay. We pull up, and he's actually on the PA telling me to pull it further. He's really screaming at us a lot, right? And I'm like,
would you say he was upset?
I would tell you right now, he was probably the maddest police officer I think I've ever seen in my life. He comes up, and he's plain clothes. He's got, I don't know, kind of like a Western vibe to him, right? He's got a button-up shirt, like a Western jacket on, right? Jeans. I'm just kind of looking at him. I remember looking at his huge, every time he talked, right, his mustache just like went in the air, I'm like, damn, this guy's got a huge mustache, But you can't say that, right? And so I just kept looking at him, and he's screaming, screaming. And so Corey's out of the truck. He's already in the cab with me. He's licking peanut butter off his hands because he still has to eat the other peanut butter, right? And I'm like, dude, you're going to get me thrown in jail. That's all I could think. I was like, dude, I'm going to jail. This is it. I'm dead. I reach over and say, Corey, get the insurance out of the glove box. And this guy, he hasn't stopped yelling. The whole time he's yelling. And I'm just trying to focus on, like, how do I get insurance and driver's license to you fast enough, sir?
Yeah.
And so Corey reaches over. So 78-4, it's got a push button, right? At the very top of the glove box, there's a little push button. You push that, glove box falls down, right? That's how it operates. It's not one that goes up. So Corey reaches over with his nose and pushes the button. Like an idiot, right? I'm like, and he's looking at me with this little grin on his face with chocolate on his face and chocolate on his hands. I'm like, I can't talk to you anymore. Like, physically, you're not my friend. Whatever happens to you now, it happens to me. Two different things now, I am shutting down. So I finally get the insurance to the guy. He goes back to the car. He's probably there for about 10 minutes. And it was funny because we went through almost like grief, and then it was like funny. So we all laughed. And the guy's at the car checking our shit. So we start busting out laughing. And then you could see the moment when we both figure like, we're probably going to jail or something, right? And then maybe some tears happened, maybe some crying. We went through the stages right there. Guy comes back. He said I can't remember his name now. He basically throws the driver's license and the insurance into the car. Just throws it in there. I'm looking at him. He basically says, if he ever sees me ever again, he's going to take me to jail, right? This is the way he says it, right? So he goes, Mr. Moore, I swear to God, if I ever see you again, I mean ever, I don't care on any road, any time, I will take you to any freaking jail. Do you hear me? I was like, yeah. He goes, do you, and he's screaming, right? Do you hear me? I'm like, I hear you, sir. I hear you. And he's like, have you ever seen a Texas Rangers badge before? And I'm sitting there looking at him, and before I can even blink, I'm like, yeah, of course I have, right? and the guy's looking at me, and he starts stuttering, which he hadn't done yet, right? And he goes, whoa, well, you just saw one today, right? It didn't really dawn on me at that point. I'm thinking to myself, like, Walker, Texas Ranger, bro. I watched that shit. That's all I could think about. So he walks off, and he gets in his car, and I'm sitting there, and I look over at Corey, and we're dying laughing at this point, right? Because he can't see us, and the dude started like for 6 seconds. That's kind of funny. And then it actually hits us. We're like, oh my God, that was a Texas Ranger. We just got pulled over by a Texas Ranger. We went straight home, by the way. I dropped Corey off. I went home. Next morning, I was like, I'm not driving to school. I can't do it.
I'm not testing my luck. I'm done, guys.
Yeah, it was it's Reese's Pieces, man. Reese's Peanut Butter Cup, not Reese's Pieces.
Reese's Peanut Butter Cup.
So
that's fantastic.
For sure.
All right, guys, let's get into the barbecue portion of this podcast, and we're going to talk about chasing more smoke and the origins of when it started, how we all got together, all that good stuff, and then we'll transition into talking about IBCA, the International Barbecue Association.
Our sanctioning body.
Our sanctioning body, correct. Thank you, John. And we'll talk about the new rule changes that they've had. They had a few tweaks this year compared to last year, but we'll get into that. But first, let's get into chasing more smoke.
Chasing more smoke.
Yeah. Shawn Moore, everybody.
Chasing more smoke started probably 2008. I got my first real smoker that you pull behind the truck.
Okay, well, before you got into that, I was going to ask you what kind of smoker it was. Was it a pellet smoker, or was it a...
Oh, they didn't have pellet smokers back then.
Oh, okay.
No. Smokers don't really use those things.
All right, that's the end of this interview. Call tonight, folks, and cut.
I use my Yoder all the time. It's nice. Work on your flavor profiles, but you wouldn't take it to a competition.
But we have taken it to a competition.
But we did, yes.
Yeah.
None of our competition meets were on that. And
we did one.
Yes,
we did one a lot.
Yes.
Okay, so you got your first trailer, pit, pull behind, offset smoker.
Right. Just so I could do firefighters cook-off, the city of Houston.
Mm-hmm.
Firefest.
It's the Firefest.
It was Firefest.
Firefest.
However, at the training academy, so I could compete against other firefighters, and we came up with the name, Chasing More Smoke. The Chase was named after my son, Chase.
Mm-hmm.
And, of course, our last name is Moore. It was Chasing More Smoke.
That's two O's.
That's with two O's, yeah.
Yeah.
Started with my brother-in-law, Charles, Joseph, and Kenny. We just went out there and did whatever we could, and came to meet you guys, and y'all were Moors too.
Yeah.
Put all that together.
Let me ask you, what was your first big win? Do you recall the first time you got that brisket call or that chicken or ribs or whatever? What was that first win that you got kind of,
Probably.
sucked into it. Like, okay, I'm all in, guys. I'm doing this competition.
Oh, yeah. Well, when we first started, it was just any top 10 call was awesome. But U of H, and there's 100 and something teams. I got first place chicken.
Nice. That was Frontier Fiesta.
That Frontier Fiesta.
Yeah, U of H, yeah.
The wife was crying. It was just one of those big deals. It was cool.
Oh, dude. That's one of those, like, oh, shit moments. Like, all right, we need to... We did
I am the greatest cook alive.
Queen's popping in with, like, we are the champions.
Right. Heard that all day in my head after that.
Next week, you're like... babe, I got to go to the grocery store and get a brisket and a couple of racks of ribs and some... I got to practice for the next time.
I need a new smoker. That's all I'm saying.
And then I got one. It was great.
If I just had a new smoker, I would cook better and we'd win more.
After you won the competition.
Spend more
that's
on the
my
pit.
father-in-law sentiment as well.
Spend less on wood.
Yeah.
Yes,
That's how you sell it to them.
It's an investment.
So you were rolling around, you're doing your Chasing More Smoke competition deal. Me and Jan, we had our own cook team. And I think at the time, we probably bounced around with names, but at this time, I think we're called Double J Cookers, if I'm not mistaken.
No, that's what it was. Yeah.
Okay, Double J Cookers. So, and we started frequently.
It stands for James and Jan, not James and John. And everybody wants to say it does, but it doesn't.
So we had Double J Cookers, and so we were cooking in the same kind of barbecue circuit that Shawn was with Chasing More Smoke. So we had all these competitions that we were pulling up, and oh, hey, there's Shawn. There's that group. So after doing the same cook-offs over and over again and partying with each other and cooking and, I mean, shit, we were teaching each other secrets and tips and, hey, do this, do that. I mean, we weren't bashful about it. I mean, we wanted everybody to do well cooking. So, like, if somebody came up to the cook-off and was like, hey, man, I'm having a problem doing brisket, and we're like, oh, okay, well, hey, put this on here, do this, do that, and whatever. I mean, we want you to be successful, too. But you're not going to beat us. We're going to beat you. You can get second. That's fine.
That shit's not like that anymore.
It's not like that anymore.
Yeah, because
Too
you
many
still coach them
secrets
up.
now.
You want to beat the best. You know what I mean? Because you always want to beat the best. If the best is out there, you still want to beat them, right?
Yeah. And so we got together. We're like, hey, let's just join forces. Let's cook together on one team, chase some more smoke. And we're like, hey, that's a fantastic idea. Let's do it. We all pulled our funds and got together.
Made this collective group of good people, man. I think this.
Oh, we have a great team.
I think we have a great team, man.
I don't remember what was our
team.
first big cook-off that we've done. Was it U of H?
Big was U of H.
I think our first major cook-off was Frontier Fiesta U of H, and it might have been 2012 or 13 or somewhere in there.
Yeah, we've done other small ones before that, but
Yeah.
the big one was U of H.
And then ever since then, I mean, we just hit the ground running, and we haven't really looked back since. And the team has grown quite a bit from however many people you had on the team prior to us joining. I think we probably now have like 13, 15 guys.
Yeah, more than that, yeah. Probably 16 or 18.
Well, shit, think about it. It's created a podcast. You know what I mean? That's
Right.
what we're trying to do, you know, so.
Talk about what happened in spring of 2016 that really turned this team around and got
I
us
know where
running.
John's going with that because I don't think the trailer made it all the way there.
No, I'm not talking about that, asshole. I'm talking about when I joined the team.
Okay.
God damn it, Eldon.
I don't remember that time.
That's a barbecue.
Yeah,
fan.
so-
16.
so
Nothing remarkable happened that week.
Yeah, so barbecue fell is that John carried a trailer like, I don't know, 2.5 hours outside of Houston area, only to have it come off the ball because it was never latched, which is highly dangerous.
It was latched. It wasn't
John,
locked. The pin wasn't in.
Let's just agree to disagree on this one. Okay,
It was
guys?
not just a trailer. That was my
Oh,
pit maker
It's the pit
barbecue
maker
pit.
competition pit. It's the money maker. is what
But
it
did
is.
we win?
Y'all did win.
Grand
Y'all did
champion.
win.
we grand champion that one, but
Y'all did win. So
It only fell off the
The
ball.
ball. The chains
Literally
didn't hold it up,
right
they were
when we
too
got
long.
into the campsite.
it was
fell off.
the speed bumps, right?
The speed bumps got it.
It's always the speed bumps.
Yes, and that wasn't where I was going with this at all. God damn it. I hate all of you.
Are you talking about when you joined the team, John?
Yes.
oh, just fishing there. I knew something was up.
Was
Hey,
there a
John.
hurricane season that year? Was it a hurricane or what
God
happened?
damn it.
Hey, John, can you tell the people your first memorable win doing competition?
Well, we won a lot the first year that I was here, but at the 1 year mark, y'all let me cook the open at Alvin, and I got a second place walk, and that was my highlight.
That was
I've had a couple other good ones.
Surf and
Pasadena,
turf, wasn't it?
We
Surf
got
and
that
turf?
second place brisket was freaking awesome. But yeah, the surf and turf
Yeah,
and Alvin,
I remember
150 teams.
yeah, those
That was,
Alvin Music
that was
Festival.
awesome.
That's what hooked me.
Hey, just a quick question. I'm not trying to be.
I feel like you're trying to be whatever you're
anything
going to
else.
say.
But what have we cooked in our last 6 opens?
Surf and turf. We always do surf and turf now. Always.
Okay, I just checking.
Hey, and I will also say we are always top 10.
Right? No, and we are. So we're there. We have arrived.
John was never on our team when we went through all the losing and the
No.
cook-off within a cook-off type.
Oh, that's one thing we forgot about. So when Double J Cookers and Chase More Smoke got together, we went through this.
We weren't actually a team. We weren't a team until
were
we
trying
stopped
to be.
doing it. Well, the problem is you're coming together with 3 head cooks, and it's like, how do we figure out who's doing what, when we're doing what, and
Who's going to turn in brisket?
Yeah, listen to me. It's for a guy that's been doing this for so long. It's hard to take a back seat. I've learned how to take a back seat a little bit.
So wait.
I
There's
just wish-
3 head cooks: Shawn, James, and who?
That's when I stepped in.
I think he
Alvin.
just got your
Yeah,
back
that's
That
right.
makes sense.
He did. He got me.
At every different cook-off, one person was going to cook the brisket, one was going to cook the chicken, they were going to cook the ribs.
I think that was kind of our defining moment. It was me probably bitching in the background to everyone, going like, I'm tired of this cook-off inside of a cook-off. Like, think about this, right? You're joining one team, and then we would cook a brisket, and then Shawn would cook a brisket, and then we would taste off which one was better.
Get everybody there
and
at that
then we'd
cook-off
have
to
to
taste the
turn
brisket.
that one in,
Yeah.
right?
That's
I'm like,
not right.
This is so horrible. This is not the
Awful.
way that a team
Somebody's
is-
going to feel like shit every
Yes,
time.
it's
sure.
like you're losing twice in a cook-off. Let's say both of them don't happen. I don't want to do this. So I basically came back to James, and I talked to Shawn about this, and I was like, listen, this is not working for me. Like, I don't feel like this is a team. I don't feel like it's something I want to do. I was at the verge, really and truthfully, of just, I'll go back to cooking the way I was cooking. I don't have to do this, you know. And it wasn't that that I wanted to cook the brisket or wanted to cook the rib or chicken. Is that I didn't want to do the cook-off inside of a cook-off. And I think the tough thing that we had to do is probably communicate. And it actually wasn't that bad. It was just like, hey, let's just cook one set of stuff, and you cook this, and you cook this, and you cook this, and all
Then we
of a
started
sudden,
alternating.
yeah. And it just,
You do brisket this time.
yeah.
Next time I'll do
It
brisket.
doesn't- we were more cohesive, and I think that's when we started doing a lot better, to be honest with you. And then John came along.
Right. It wasn't too long after I came on that we started doing more than one turn-in.
Yeah, so we actually, our
That's
team
probably the
grew.
best thing you ever started.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'll let you have that one.
I mean, so
He's like, can we please have 2 turn-ins?
Why? And then we started walking more.
Yeah.
well, so to be honest, I mean,
It was weird how that
our
worked.
team grew, right? Our team grew by,
Got up to 12 or 14, and
yeah. I mean, at a certain time, you're like, okay, like clearly, more people need to be doing things, more responsibility.
Okay, so fast forward to the present. I'd say we're pretty successful. I mean, we're not right up there in the top teams out there. I mean, you have some of the guys like Philip Breeden with Lucky Charms. You have, say,
Business as usual. What's the dude? Business as usual.
Caleb
Ryan.
That
Yeah.
dude kicks ass. Poppin' Sons. Out
He's
there
really
whooping
good.
ass.
Papa Sons, yeah.
Those guys are
Poppin'
out there every
Sons.
weekend, though. I mean, those guys are
Wilkerson.
always out there.
Robert Rocha.
You get the dude from Race Crew Barbecue. I mean, they
Yeah,
literally
Zach
do
Miller.
it every freaking weekend.
Right. We're like once a month.
Once a month. There'll be some months where we do a couple in a month or whatever. And this may be
Those are the guys that beat, though.
for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
those are the top
They're
dogs that we're
whooping
chasing. And okay, so let's transition into IBCA. I mean, that's the governing barbecue body that we cook
Governing
in.
bodies, yeah.
IBCA, the International Barbecue Cookers Association. Over this last year, I think they've had some turnover in management. I think they've had a couple of guys drop out.
They're
And-
about to have an election right now.
Oh, maybe they're
it's,
okay.
What was the
it's
falling
fixing
out?
to gear
Do they
up.
know what the falling out?
I don't think there's a falling out. I think they're in their bylaws. You can only be in charge for so long, and then you have to step down to somebody else.
It's like an election.
It's an election. So
Okay.
right now, I think you have Craig Sherry. He's the
Outgoing.
outgoing president. He's owner operator of Texas Pepper Jelly. So Rib Candy. He has a bunch of other like pepper jellies and all that type of stuff. I mean, fantastic product stuff.
He does have some good shit.
It's one
Yeah.
of the top cooks in the state.
Oh,
as
for
well.
sure. Yeah. He's laying down, I think, maybe multiple first place calls out at Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo. He knows what he's doing. So he's out. Somebody else can get voted in.
Yeah, I know Kevin Miller is running. I don't know who else is.
Okay.
Like same people with the same ideals and stuff with,
You got
especially
some
sauce and stuff like that. I mean,
You got some, but there are some rule changes that they're going to change, which I think they're trying to. And Shawn probably knows, being our captain, he's a little bit more involved with the rules
the ins and
aspects.
outs. Yeah.
Everybody's trying to have a better scoring system.
Okay.
Can't all be KCBS where you get your own judge and they sit there at your place and judge your meat, or you go to the table and there's just 4 judges that do your meat.
Sure.
So IBCA is trying a different scoring system so that it gives the people that only do 10 or 12 cook-offs a year as good of a chance as the teams that cook 30 a year. The people that do 30, 40 cook-offs a year, they're still going to have a better chance because it goes on an average system now of the 12 cook-offs. You could do 12 cook-offs and they'll take your average of those. And
Does that include multiple spots as well in those 12? So
No.
one's just, it doesn't. Okay.
just one, Chasing More Smoke 1. If we have Chasing More Smoke 2 at that cook-off,
That's
It's
going
a
to be
separate
total
person.
separate
Total separate thing.
register with IBCA.
yeah. So your Chasing More Smoke 1 gets points.
So that's registered. So there's a difference between Chasing More 1 and 2.
Correct.
Yeah.
Is that Pasadena's IBCA, isn't it?
No, Pasadena's not sanctioned.
Oh, it's not sanctioned anymore.
Doing Pasadena next month and should be 120 teams or whatever,
teams, yeah.
but it's not sanctioned. So that one's just for the party, just for our sponsors and bring out their people.
So these little ones, like we were at, just the other day, just like with the 20+ teams that are IBCA, would that do better for us, as we go, or?
yes, if you get grand champion, you get 1,000 points, and then you get bonus points for how many teams are in the cook-off. So if there's only 20 teams and you get first out of 20, you'll get 19 extra points because you beat 19 other teams. But if there's 50 teams, I think you get 2 points for each team you beat. So if you beat 49 other teams, then you get
Right.
98 points
Yeah.
bonus.
There's bonuses based on how many teams. So the more teams you beat, obviously, you get more and more bonus points.
It's like
Yeah.
a slot machine in Vegas, almost.
Well, I also
Sure.
I hear
They're all
that,
winning.
and not going to name any specific teams, but there are teams out there that will follow people on social media, and they'll see, okay, all the top dogs are going over here to this cook-off. I'm gonna go over here to this cook-off,
Makes sense to me.
and I'm gonna cook here, and so
Yeah.
I can rack up a grand champion and get those points, and not have to get. I mean, you don't get extra points for competing against people that are actually, like, as ranked or high in
Right.
whatever. So I'm going to go hit this cook-off over here. It's only got about 25, 30 teams, and none of them are like the big-time players. So I can go in here, get a grand champion, walk out the door, peace out, see you later.
That's the thought, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Are there any points, just for people that don't know, if you go to those thinking you're going to win and then lose, are there negative points or anything like that?
Yeah. No negative. You just don't accrue points. But
If you don't top 10 in anything,
if you cook
You just, like you've never been there.
if you cook at 30 cook-offs a year or 50 cook-offs a year,
Yeah.
then it doesn't matter because it's going to come down to your 12 best cook-offs. So they'll just average your 12 best. So those 5 or 10 that you didn't really do so well in it, throw them out the window. Nobody cares. A team like us is like, it's kind of difficult because we may do 12 cook-offs or 13 cook-offs.
Right. Every cook
We have to grand champion.
Expecting to win. all
We have
of
to
them,
grand
yeah.
champion every one of them
Yeah.
in order for us to be considered top in the state.
Yeah, because somebody's going to grand champion all of them. You know what I mean?
if they do 30 or 50,
Yeah.
I don't think anybody's grand champion 12
Probably
or
not
13
all of them.
cook-offs
Yeah,
in a year.
sure.
Not at
But,
all.
sure, but you get the gist of what I'm saying is the avid cookers are going to go to the ones that are chasing the points to get to where they need to get to. It's the novice cookers, I guess you could say, or the cookers that aren't really there yet. Is how do you explain to them, like, all right, go chase this cook-off, go chase these points. You know what I mean? I guess that's kind of the question I'm kind of asking. If you're talking to somebody that's like, hey, I want to cook some ribs, where do I need to go? Would you send them to one of those cook-offs?
Oh, yeah, any cook-off is a good cook-off to compete in.
Anybody out there that is interested in getting into competition cooking, I would suggest maybe going to the IBCA website, going to the IBCA Facebook page. I'm sure there's probably a lot of support there for you guys to get the information and stuff that you need if you guys want to participate and do it. You don't have to be a member of these organizations to compete at these cook-offs.
I guess that's what I'm getting to.
Yeah, you can show
Anybody
up,
can do it.
pay your entry fee, and go on down the road.
Go on the website. It'll give you all the rules. It'll list pretty much all the IBCA cook-offs that are available to sign up for. You don't have to be a member. But if you want to chase points, you want to be in the running to be, champion of the IBCA or whatever they call it, then you have to be a member. Right.
Yeah.
Well, something else. So we've talked about this year, and since we found out these new rules have come into effect, we do cook in some rather large cook-offs, right? So, like, I've seen back in the day that Alvin has done their festival is 160-something, 150-something, 140-something cookers. Pasadena can go that high as well. It can go to 150, 160.
Pasadena's not sanctioned.
It's not sanctioned. And
Alvin is.
Right. Correct. Right. And we've done well at both. But the League City, we just did. That was sanctioned.
We top 10 that one, yeah.
So it's about picking and choosing. If we're at a point now, if we're going to start chasing points, then I feel like we may need to omit this Pasadena one next year. Or if we keep it on the books, then we just know that, hey, this is one we're not doing. And we're going to focus on some of the other ones that we are doing and doing those as the IBCA cook-offs.
Pasadena's our big party.
I mean,
Yeah,
it
I
is.
think we keep that.
Pasadena and Alvin.
So is Alvin, but could League City be just the same party?
Yes, but it's right after Alvin.
Okay, so
Our
I get that.
sponsors
yeah.
aren't going to want to
Right.
turn around and come back out
What
just
is-
a few weeks later.
Maybe instead of doing like VFW, it was sanctioned, it then became not an IBCA cook-off.
And we probably won't go back until it is
Right,
again.
so we probably need to look at a different cook-off. Kids Unlimited,
That one is sanctioned, isn't it?
That
it
one's
is.
sanctioned.
Yeah. So I know that at one point we're doing about 10 to 12 cook-offs in a year. It seemed like. I think for some reason right now we've had a big lull. Like we have not cooked.
We didn't do
Kinda how
anything
it
in
always is in
July
the
or
summer.
August.
Yeah.
Summer's always kind of
Very
a lull.
few.
So
So hot, nobody wants to be out there.
I know.
But these guys with all the points, they're out there.
Yep.
They're doing
chasing.
it.
I get it. The difference is it's still an average.
And girls, too. There's a lot of good barbecue girl team out there.
Yeah, without a doubt. John's wife.
Yeah, we
She's
got
good.
8th at her cook-off overall.
Okay, nice. Yeah, she's
Got,
she's
third place
part
chicken
champion.
call. Got some hardware.
Boom. There
You
you
get
go.
some hardware. Nice hardware.
Yeah.
Okay, well, as we know, as you guys know, the people, the listeners,
Hey,
The people.
it's called the people.
it's called the people.
I mean, they just want to be called it. You know.
We like to wrap this whole podcast up with our barbecue fails, our wins, our war stories, all that type of stuff. And I know John probably has a people submission that he'd like to share.
Yes, sir.
Who we got?
This is Wes Phillips. He is Burnt Bermuda Barbecue.
Wes Phillips. How does that come in? Is it Twitter? Was that Facebook? Does it say?
I'm not sure where we got it. He's on Facebook and
All right,
Instagram.
well, thank you, Wes.
Yeah, he's following us on both.
Thank you, sir.
Digging the show. Okay, here's his story, and I'm going to try to just read this as he sent it, so I'll be talking as if I'm him.
All right.
A late winter day, a little warmer than normal, a good while back, and I loaned out my little pool-behind smoker. I got a request to do some barbecue for some family and some others in my community. Not having my normal cooker, I borrowed a friend's pool behind, which was a little longer than my cooker, so my driveway being shorter than the cooker was backed into the yard. I lived at the time in a duplex community where the building was 20 to 25 feet apart from the neighbors, which created a nice breeze. Thought it'd be good for the smoker. I'm rolling along at about 250 when the temp drops on the cooker, so I need to add some more wood. I open up the firebox, put another stick on top, and when I do, a single ember falls into the grass. I quickly close the door, attempt to find something to put it out with. The wind picks up, and the dormant Bermuda grass burns well. A nice 12-inch by 12-inch spot. I go to the spigot on the side of the house only to find that it's not actually hooked up. So I run inside to get a bowl of water. As I attempt to battle the junior-sized blaze, the nice breeze between the houses spreads it like wildfire.
God bless.
Where's this taking place at?
At his house,
Didn't
I
say?
guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got to be in Lubbock somewhere with
I
the
was-
wind.
I would say California.
I was going to say Florida.
Gotta be
I don't know.
Lubbock with the Lubbock wind, bro.
Let's go with Texas.
Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm going
anyways.
Texas.
It's at this point I understand what spreading like wildfire means, and I have my wife call 911 for the fire department assistance. 2 fire trucks, an ambulance, and 2 police cars arrive, and extinguished the blaze. All in total, burned the soffit off my neighbor's home, the landscaping in front of my home, the shutters on the brick facade, the grass between the houses, jumping the neighbor's fence and into her backyard, across the back of the property and into the cemetery. Luckily, I was only humiliated and not charged with arson, as the police officers only questioned whether or not the barbecue was okay, and it was, and if they could come back when it was ready. And that is how I got my name, Burnt Bermuda Barbecue, which I still use at catering events, vending competitions, and whatnot. It was not a funny story for many years, but now I can tell it and laugh.
And that was Wes.
Yes, this is Wes
thank you,
Phillips,
sir.
Burnt Bermuda Barbecue.
Bar Bermuda, thank you so much for putting that out there. And dude, I want to try that brisket now. I want to try that barbecue.
It makes my stories not feel so bad. We'll send him a shirt.
Shawn,
on Facebook, that was awesome.
you being a firefighter, have you almost burned down your house?
Not my house. I've been to lots of houses where people were barbecuing on their balcony. It's wide open fire and smoke rolling everywhere, and they're like, "What's the problem? Just barbecuing." Like, come on, man.
Does that happen a lot at apartments?
Apartment
Well, yeah,
complexes?
mostly apartments. And
I would think so. Yeah.
they'll
If
go inside for a minute, and it flares up, and their whole awning is on fire, and they're just about to burn down a whole apartment
I just
complex.
lit this barbecue pit,
just
and
trying to have some ribs.
everything caught. It was engulfed in flames.
Right.
Like, it
If
tells
you
you out
could-
there, don't do this.
10 feet away from the building.
Yeah, if you can give the people any tips or tricks or whatever, like, hey, move the barbecue pit away from the building.
At least 10 feet away from the building. Is
I think it probably
every
sucks.
apartment I've been to has said that.
Yeah, and I've been guilty of because I've been in apartment complexes before, and used to there was no rules, and then towards the end of my apartment complex living, before I bought my house, they started instituting a 10-foot, 20-foot.
The rules may have been
rule.
started after you did it.
Yeah. Well, I never burned anything down. I was like, I knew how to manage a fire and not leave a fire.
I never did
unattended.
it either.
Yeah.
I was on second story. I wasn't going downstairs, and
No.
I still did it on the balcony. I was just smarter about it.
Yeah, exactly.
I was a firefighter. I knew what I was doing.
Speaking of that, I do have a funny story. It's very short, I promise. This will be about 26 seconds. So, me and my cousin Matt lived in an apartment complex, and it was one of those deals you cannot cook out there on the deal. We made steaks in our fireplace, bro. That stuff was going to go out anyways. That's where we made our steaks. And it worked perfect. The steaks, I don't remember how good they were. They were on plasticware. We were 22 years old at this point. But
That's
it
awesome.
worked. It
That
worked.
sounds delicious.
It was awesome.
Yeah,
I
right.
could totally
It
do
was
Did
that.
awesome.
you
We made
use-
steaks in the fireplace.
Did you
It was
use
awesome.
the Duraflame log?
Yes.
That may not be delicious.
Yeah. I'm
The plastic didn't melt.
Speaking of Duraflame logs, maybe about 5-10 years ago, I went out camping. I think we went to the Guadalupe and hit up one of the little campsites. And no, I'm totally lying to you. It was the Jellystone
Yes.
Yogi Bear Park
Yeah,
or whatever it is. So little cabins that they had. Each one had a little fire pit in front of it. And this guy rolls up, and he had a couple of kids with him, a little family, and a couple of kids, and he rolls up to the little makeshift fire pit that has a little grate
Little
that's on a
box.
swivel,
Rectangle,
that
basically.
moves over in front of the fire pit that you can do a little grilling on. And he unwraps, rolls out this fresh Duraflame log, and sticks it up underneath the grate and lights it on fire. And I mean, you could just imagine the shock and disbelief in my face. I'm just sitting there in my lawn chair, reaching over, grabbing another beer, just like, what is this guy doing? I'm not stopping him. I mean, hey, he's doing his own thing. I mean, his family, they may be dead now. I don't know.
Probably did.
Yeah. So he lights it up, busts out the hot dogs, hamburgers, whatever he was cooking, cooks it up, finishes eating, throws a bunch of water on the Duraflame log, and then done. Rolled up, went inside, went to bed. I'm like,
I guess that's like
Wow.
straight to the point. Think about it. Like
Yeah.
you just light it up.
it's like, dude, I'm not messing around. I can't wait
Yeah.
the 20 minutes for these coals to get
Right.
ready.
Right.
And put no coals on top of it.
Yeah.
It was
No.
just
That's what
it was
match
just a
light
log.
is for.
Exactly.
Right.
Just buy some match lights.
Exactly.
Okay, so I got one barbecue fail. No, it's not really a fail. It's more of kind of a barbecue war story. And this kind of piggybacks off of our first experiences with chasing more smoke and with our first cook-off, or one of our first, it might have been the second cook-off, at U of H Frontier Fiesta. Love doing that cook-off. The handling of that cook-off was probably a little bit different. It wasn't sanctioned.
So funny story about that cook-off, right? So the team next to us, they had a huge spot. They had a tent. They were getting down. I walked in, and I brought some of my brisket with me. I said, hey, try this. And the guy goes, mine's better than yours. Like, first of all, who says that to somebody?
Just right off the bat.
Just try the brisket. Be grateful that I brought you some, and don't speak, right? Or say, hey, thanks. You know, that's all you got to say. Thanks.
I mean, for us, that's kind of like a customary type deal. We're like, hey, here's some of our meat.
Let me try some of yours.
Let me try some of yours, just so we can see where we're at.
I tried his, right, and it was very cinnamony. Had a very cinnamony flavor to it.
Yeah, that's weird.
And I told him, I was like, hey, I get it, kind of like a jerk brisket, right? You're a jerk.
Jerk with a brisket.
Yeah, I walk off. I didn't really say anything. Well, we came in 8th place or 9th place. He got 14th. Dude, not happy. He was not happy. I walked by and I was like, hey, how'd you do? He goes, we got 14th. I said, great. We got 8th. Have a nice fucking life, you loser. But no.
Cinnamon brisket, bitch.
You asshole. But no. He actually came out of the tent and he was like, he was adamant that his stuff was better than our stuff. And I was like, okay, well, probably not. Like, you didn't, not today, it wasn't. For those judges, didn't happen. So later that night, it was fine. We all talked about it, and he was happy. He was pretty drunk, probably, but
Not today, Cinnamon.
yeah, jerk.
Cinnamon. Was it Rick? Was his name Rick?
Yeah, must have been Rick.
Damn it, Rick.
God damn it, Rick.
What that same cook-off, and we were sitting there. It was Friday night. We were just like pre-gaming. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Some of our early cook-offs, we pre-gamed a lot. We drank a lot. We cooked a lot. Everything was great and fantastic. Just a pro tip, if any of you guys out there are looking to maybe up your game just a little bit, maybe not get super trashed on Friday night and take care of your meat and cook. Just saying, just a little pro tip.
Or don't. It's better for us.
Yeah. Come visit us. We have Backfish Brewery. We'll hand out all the beer you can drink.
Backfish gives us a keg at every cook-off.
Yeah,
Fantastic
exactly.
beer.
Oh, it's so great. So my favorite. So I've had a couple. The all y'all. All is that what I'm saying right? All y'all.
That's just easy to drink beer right there.
It's so good.
Yeah,
I
I like
mean,
all their beers, but
it's-
that one you can
yes.
just drink and drink and drink.
Yeah, it's a smooth beer. But it's not a smooth light beer. So that's what the difference is. You know, you're drinking something that's some flavor.
Oh,
to
craft
it.
beer.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
craft
great.
for sure. Definitely got to check those guys out. Hopefully one day we can do a like a mobile podcast. Maybe we'll be there in the brewery. Do a little podcast there. We'll see. Reach out to them.
We were at the cook-off Friday night, so we cooked brisket, we cooked some beef ribs, we cooked chicken. We just had kind of like just a big old spread, and we had a bunch of people that we invited. So, and we were just having a freaking big old party at U of H. And all of a sudden, probably maybe like 9 o'clock at night, or was it earlier? I can't really recall the time. But so we're sitting there, and all of a sudden these people approach us. And they're like, boom, boom, boom. Hey, what's up, guy? And he's like, hey, so our performer over here, Bob, B.O.B., I don't know if you guys know, but a rapper based out of Atlanta. He's had a couple of like pretty big hits. I'll just rattle off a couple of them. One was like Nothing on You featuring Bruno Mars. You got Airplane featuring Haley Williams, and you got Headbands featuring 2 Chainz. I mean, nice songs. I mean, of course, you know us. I mean, we like rap, we like country, we like all music.
Tejano.
And we like Tejano too.
There you go.
Yeah.
What's your favorite Tejano song, James?
Selena.
Nope. Guess again.
How is he not guessing his own favorite? What the fuck does that mean?
Because I think he loves
You're
the other
telling
one.
him no, that's not your favorite song.
Anywho, just like that, we were off track. Go ahead.
Okay, so I don't know if it's a manager or some part of this guy's crew, B.O.B., and he shows up and he's like, B.O.B. wants some barbecue.
He was performing at U of H.
He was
that night
performing at
for
U of H. He was the
Frontier
headliner
Fiesta.
that night at Frontier Fiesta. And we're like, we can accommodate that. Yeah, so we started throwing down a big old tinfoil pan. We started throwing brisket, beef ribs, chicken, ribs itself. I mean, just a whole freaking smorgasbord platter for this guy. And we're like, boom, here you go. Hey, man, just let us know if he likes it, or, I mean, everything's good and blah, blah, blah. We're appreciated to do it.
You're telling me this is a rapper named Bob?
B.O.B.
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 Period O. Period B. Period.
That's Bob.
Pretty much. And so, not to get our feelings hurt or a little butt hurt, but never got a thank you. Never got a thumbs up. Hey, barbecue's good. I feel like we just got used for a
I thought
barbecue.
he was going to shout us out at the concert.
We went to the concert and we're just pumping it up, yeah, and then
Nothing.
nothing.
Bro,
Yeah.
the dude asked for 64 condoms and 16 bottles of whatever alcohol to be brought into his dressing room before he was going to go on. The dude was eating and effing. He wasn't worried about giving props to the barbecue. I'm just going to let you know. There was a big article that came out with this guy. It wasn't the greatest, to be honest.
I got a little backstory on this guy, and he's out there for sure. He's what you guys would know, or what people have referred to as being a flat earther.
Oh, God.
I don't know what that means.
Do you know what that
Jesus
means?
No.
Christ.
Please elaborate. I don't know what that means.
Wait,
It
it's not
sounds
flat?
exactly like what
It's not flat?
he's
An
saying.
idiot? Is that what it means? An idiot?
Flat.
He thinks the Earth is
Earth's
flat.
He legitimately, or thinks
Legitimately
it's
thinks
cool
the
to
Earth
think
is
that?
flat. No.
I just ran it straight down the circle. I'm pretty sure it's not flat.
Well, this guy is right there on par with
kidding,
you,
guys.
Alden.
Just kidding,
Straight
guys.
circle.
This is very, very cylindrical. I agree.
Okay, it's just a little bit of story, and I'll go into this kind of fast. Okay, so January 2016, B.O.B. expressed the belief that the Earth was flat, citing previously debunked arguments. Astrophysicist Neil deGrasse Tyson, which I'm sure you guys have heard of, freaking genius.
Smart-ass man.
Yeah. Responded to B.O.B. on Twitter and attempted to persuade him that the Earth is round. But the rapper refused to retract his views and accused NASA of avoiding his questions. He released a diss track that dissed Tyson, and the track was called Flatline. And he goes into this whole... Yeah, you guys check it out. It's on Spotify and all that stuff like that. Check it out.
You can't
So
be a special kind of moron.
for sure. So he releases this track. Well, Tyson's son is a rapper as well. So he comes back with this respond to his diss rap. And his name is Steven. They didn't really give, I guess, Steven Tyson. And he maybe have a rapper name or whatever. But I think the name of his song was called Flat to Fat. And so Tyson goes on
Pretty solid.
TV to address this rapper. And it's fundamental fact of calculus that I'm getting into non-whatever geometry, and this is probably getting above my head, that sections of large curved surfaces will always look flat to little creatures that crawl upon it. And by the way, this
That's
is
probably
called,
the best way you
Oh, for sure.
could have explained it. That was
And
awesome.
then he finished it up with, by the way, this is called gravity. And then Tyson drops the mic and walks off.
That was solid. That's the best way he could have explained it, or he could have explained it.
So this guy, apparently he's a part of the Flat Earth Society. 2017, he sought $200,000 in donations to launch his own satellites into space to verify the shape of Earth.
Are we talking about Bob again?
This is Bob.
Still Bob.
I'm not gonna lie. I feel like he should be brought up on charges for taking people's money, not actually putting a freaking satellite together and sending it to Earth. Because let me tell you, it takes a lot more than 200,000.
Oh, well, shortly after that, he's upped his quantity to 1 million now.
Yeah, it
so
costs
he
more
can-
than $1 million.
So he can create test-seeking drones, weather balloons, and satellites.
Yeah.
I'm going to call that rapper fail. That's not really a barbecue fail. No, that's a barbecue fail on our part for giving that guy our barbecue.
Yes.
For sure.
We should
I'm-
never
I'm
give
not
that
gonna-
guy his
yeah.
barbecue.
Hey,
That was a
you know
barbecue
what?
fail.
That was a fail on
you
our
want some
part.
meat?
You can ask that guy what a parabola is.
Right?
A parabolic shape.
Parabolic
Parabolic shape.
Did you say parabola?
Parabola.
Shawn Moore.
God damn it.
That's almost
I thought
as
that
bad
was
as,
your word.
That's almost
So-
as bad as circum bad.
Hey, to be honest with you,
Parabola is a word. Circumbat is
to
not.
be honest with you, Sean's actually been drinking 48-inch beers, 48-ounce beers. We're all drinking 12s. This is his sixth one.
Size
cold
doesn't mean
Miller
everything, you know.
It's 24 ounce.
It matters sometimes.
All right, guys. I think this has been another notch in the belt. Another,
How many bells do we have?
well, it's another notch. Not another belt. But a great podcast. I also want to give a big ups to Shawn
Shawn Moore,
coming
everybody.
on, doing his thing, getting a sweet, sexy voice. Shawn, do you want to
Thank you guys for having me.
For sure. You want to bust down a little lyric for us? Hey, give us your...
I actually do not.
That's what I'm talking about. All right, James.
Yeah, let's close this out. Hey, we really appreciate you guys listening, the people. We got plenty more episodes planned for you guys. We appreciate the support. Jump on TeePublic. Check out the T-shirts. If you want to snag a couple, that'll really help us out doing what we do. Check out the Twitter page. Grab the Brisket. Check out Instagram. Grab them in the Brisket. Check out Facebook. It's the same thing. We love the interaction. We want to hear your war stories. We want to hear your barbecue fails, your wins, all that stuff. Send it to us. We'll put it on there. We read your story. We'll send you a sticker, T-shirt.
Shout out to Wes. That was Wes, correct?
Yeah, that was Wes today.
Okay, Wes today. All right.
All right. Hey, all I got to say is peace out.
Just grab them in the Brisket.